Deixa eu me introduzir, Bárbara. Good afternoon. Thank you for be with us and thank you for be part of that experience. As I told you before, I want to thank you a lot by support SCT and to start and to have a very strong and good relationship with SMPTE, and especially because SCT and SMPTE is made by people, and it's important to have a good relationship with people. And you was very special for us. Thank you. And I would like to talk a little bit more about you. And please let us know a little bit more about SMPTE and a little bit more about you. I saw a very, very nice interview in IBC, and I would like to invite you to talk with us a little bit more about that, especially regarding the standardization process. As I can imagine, is need to be different than before because technology is moving very quickly. Mm-hmm. And another important point that I saw in your interview was about the youngers. SCT and SMPTE need to have more youngers around us. And I would like to ask you about that too. But please, Barbara, again, congratulations for your job. Thank you for support SCT during all these years. And I want to continue to have a good relationship with SMPTE. Yes, please let us know a little bit more about you and SMPTE, please.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Well, thank you very much. What a lovely introduction. I want to thank Carlos and Olympio for the invitation to be your keynote speaker at this SCT Experience event. I'm very honored to be a part of this event, even though I would much rather be in Sao Paulo in person. But of course, during these crazy times of pandemic, I totally missed the opportunity to meet face to face. And but sadly, these times require such a presentation. Today, I will be speaking about SMPTE, the SMPTE, and what we've been up to since the pandemic hit. And it is also my last official speaking engagement, as I will be stepping down from the SMPTE as executive director at the end of the month. After 12 years, it's time for me to move on to new opportunities. So I thank you for inviting me to be here today. So there we are. Okay, so from the early days of entertainment technology to the latest digital media breakthroughs, the SMPTE has been there to provide standards that bring order to evolving technologies, and then helping educate the industry on those solutions. The Society has developed thousands of engineering standards and guidelines over its 105-year history. But equally important has been its ongoing role in supporting the diverse group of professionals worldwide who work in the field. In fact, back in 1929, the SMPE, as it was known then, formally formed the standards community to address and solve industry problems. 100 years later, we continue to do this important work. Today, in partnership with nearly 30 SMPTE sections and members across the globe, the Society continues to deliver vast educational offerings, technical standards and seminars, and exhibitions, as well as other events designed to advance both the industry and the careers of technologists, engineers, and creatives working in media. Of course, the pandemic has impacted SMPTE as it has so many organizations, particularly nonprofits. We have seen a loss in membership, particularly due to the lack of physical interactions and the ability to meet up with one another. For example, NAB and IBC have always been important events for the Society. Neither show has happened now for 2 years, and we feel not just the financial impact, but also the loss of the valuable opportunity to interact with the larger SMPTE community. Our student chapters have also suffered from the lack of in-person classrooms. Despite all that, this last year, we instituted a new program just for students using the Discord platform, which of course is a site that many students enjoy, and we're seeing great activity there. Thankfully, though, despite all of these issues, the SMPTE has a very strong foundation and the ability to stay the course as we navigate through these unknown times. And in fact, we've been quite innovative during this period. It's always been easy. It hasn't always been easy, but the SMPTE has always found ways to adapt, survive, and thrive. And that's been the case over the past couple of years as well during this pandemic. We've been able to maintain our core activities, and we've gone virtual. We've now had 2 years in a row without hosting an in-person annual technical conference or our awards show, but we've pivoted to virtual presentations just as you have here with the SET experience. And our standards community is still going strong, doing its thing, and ultimately we have very strong support from our membership. Like many, we've used the pandemic period to pivot and innovate. This year, we launched a new virtual event program called SMPTE Plus. You'll see it's up on the left there. This platform allows us to deliver conference quality content to our membership in a convenient Zoom format that you are all familiar with. The plus in SMPTE Plus is the additional content that we provide on demand in advance of the session. This gives our audience a head start on understanding the topic, meet the speakers, and overall become better prepared for the live presentation. This year, we've delivered 4 such events covering such topics as 6P, the wider color space, media in the cloud, IP facilities, and our last session coming up on December 14th is highlighting the SMPTE's Journal's annual progress report. For SMPTE and our members, the pandemic has highlighted the value of education and the value of connection. So as we go back to normal times, the Society is very interested in supporting industry events as they return to the calendar. Looking forward, I do believe that we will have in-person events again. It is critical for our industry to meet and greet, not only to touch the latest tech equipment, but more importantly, to share knowledge and do business. While I believe the big shows will return, like NAB, IBC, and others, I also believe this new world is ripe for smaller regional events such as the SET Expo event and the SMPTE Annual Technical Conference. These regional events allow for a smaller, more concentrated footprint that can specialize in the local culture, be it in the food served, as well as the technical focus. SMPTE is ideally suited to play that role. In fact, in 2022, our SMPTE Australia section is planning its event in March, our UK section in May, and both Montreal and Toronto in June. All have the advantage of serving the local community with the content that best suits them. The SMPTE Annual Technical Conference also is being planned for live in person next October, and again back in Hollywood. So mark your calendars. Despite the optimism for live events, for better or worse, I also believe that virtual Zoom events will continue to be a fixture as well, and SMPTE will be involved in both. We expect the SMPTE Plus platform to continue alongside in-person events. With our global network of sections, the Society is well positioned to put on events and to help bring the industry back. As I mentioned earlier, a silver lining of the pandemic has been that SMPTE and our members have had more opportunity for collaboration and innovation. 2 major initiatives that have come out of this time, one dedicated to media in the cloud and the other to rapid industry solutions, or what we are calling RIS. Media in the Cloud is the focus of a new initiative brought into SMPTE by President Hans Hofmann. Since the beginning of 2021, an advisory group has been meeting to tackle the problems related to media in the cloud. The pandemic forced many to turn to the cloud with greater energy, and so there are plenty of technical issues to be worked out to ensure interoperability. Under the leadership of Larissa Gerner of Grass Valley, the group is looking at issues such as security, latency, and inter-cloud compatibility, among others. These are topics that impact every media tech operation around the globe, and we believe that SMPTE can help with recommended practices and guidelines that can assist the industry as it navigates the cloud. Earlier this year, our new SMPTE Plus virtual event platform delivered a session all about this topic, and there will be more to come in the new year. The other great innovation this year is the wild success of the Rapid Industry Solutions, or RIS initiative, developed in a very organic and experimental way. Over the years, there's been more and more discussion on the value of standards in a world where most media technology is IP or software based. If you can refine or fix the code, why would you need a standard? For many media tech standards to be widely adopted, they need to be able to ensure interoperability at all levels, from hardware to software, and to be made rapidly available. We understand that this world requires a shift of how interoperability works and how that is done. Rather than wait for problems to come to SMPTE, how about we go out and find the problems and then work with industry to find those solutions? During the pandemic, we knew SMPTE needed a way to be more innovative and more proactive. We designed the RIS initiative as a model for studying a timely industry problem, bringing proponents and stakeholders together to identify key areas of work, and then leveraging volunteers, a project manager, and staff to move towards solutions and to offer those solutions to the industry for free. The first RIS program, we targeted on-set virtual production, which has emerged as a prominent part of the modern media world. Uniting traditional production tools with virtual and augmented reality, CGI, and game engine technologies in real time, virtual production leverages a great deal of technology without the benefit of much interoperability. And according to at least one researcher, Grandview Research, the global virtual production market size was valued at over $1.4 billion in 2020 and is expected to expand at a compounded annual growth rate of more than 16% to 2028. Interoperability and education are critical to bring efficiencies to this dynamic new space, and SMPTE has a strong role to play here. As an unbiased, neutral platform, SMPTE is uniquely suited to bringing the industry together to quickly assess challenges, establish goals, and make interoperability specifications, workflows, and best practices open and free to the industry, along with supporting educational courses and webcasts. We reached out to see if industry members had any interest in the society playing this role, and I'm amazed at how quickly and positively they responded to the RIS concept. We weren't sure that would be the case. The RIS model requires that participating companies support the program financially and that they become SMPTE members if they aren't already. And they are, with over 46 advisory group members so far. Crossing industry, academia, broadcast, production, motion picture, and also geography, the RIS initiative has brought at least 10 new companies into the societies, and many of them from the creative side of media tech who have never associated with SMPTE before, and they are reflected here in the circles. It's generating a fresh interest in the society while accelerating our problem-solving capacity. And these new participants see SMPTE as the standards body that can bring order to the current chaos of virtual production. This RIS program launched in August with 3 specific work streams. One looks at educational issues, one looks at interoperability issues, and the third looks at outreach to bring in the voices and experts who can build on this work. With a project manager keeping the project going, each work stream is led by volunteers who are passionate about their areas. The group includes a global cross-section of virtual production space and has added benefit of including both commercial and academic entities. And I'm just thrilled with the level of attention and interaction that we're seeing. In fact, the RIS education workstream has already completed its first deliverable, a high-level overview of the virtual production in the form of this wall chart, which was published in the October 2021 issue of the SMPTE Motion Imaging Journal. The group also has completed a complementary video with the URL there, and is having both assets translated into multiple languages to enable broad usage. This work stream is also compiling a list of educational resources from across the industry so that SMPTE can provide a curated, organized collection of material on all variety of topics related to on-set virtual production. The interoperability workstream has identified several areas of attention. These include on-set workflow, camera sources of truth, file formats, and color science. These are hefty topics that require experts to come together and work out solutions, and it's exciting to see it all coming together. Even with this great energy and initial progress, we've still got a lot of work to do. We continue to get new proponents to join in, including several just this week. And recently, the Epic Games company awarded our project an Epic Mega Grant in the form of $150,000 that will add great momentum and accelerate our work. We view this as a validation of the RIS model and of SMPTE's role in facilitating greater interoperability and more accessible education in the realm of on-set virtual production. Of course, with the success of this RIS program, it leads to the question, what next? One possibility for a new RIS program is HDR rendering on social media platforms. And Facebook has already expressed interest in supporting that work. Sustainability is another possibility. It's clearly an up-and-coming issue that the whole industry must get its head around, and an RIS format might be ideal to tackle that issue. Like the RIS initiative, SMPTE's work builds on the collaborative relationships with industry partners. SET has long been one of those partners, and it has been a great pleasure to be working with SET over the years. SMPTE has benefited greatly from a strong professional relationship between these two organizations. And we already have a joint membership opportunity, and we actively exchange publishing within our journals. I fully expect the collaboration and knowledge exchange to continue. I would like to invite even more representation from Brazil with its rich expertise and perspectives from its professional community to join the SMPTE standards community. We need your voice, so please join us. And over the years, I have made wonderful friends from Brazil, including Liliana, Olimpio, Paulo Enrique, Fernando, and Carlos. Thank you all so very much for your friendship and partnership. In closing, as I mentioned earlier, after 12 years leading SMPTE, I've decided that it is time to step aside and embark on new opportunities. My plan is to work on projects that fulfill my interests in 2 specific domains. One is to help girls find satisfying careers in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math. Not only is it a practical necessity, but it also because the broader diversity of women in science, technology, and engineering professions has proven to bring greater success to business. My other interest is understanding the issues of sustainability in media technology. As the world takes a closer look at climate change, how can our industry work more efficiently to play its part in this complex space? I look forward to working on both of these issues. And although I am leaving SMPTE, I am certain that SMPTE's friendship with the SET will continue as well as my own. So, obrigada por esta oportunidade de falar com você hoje. Aproveite a conversa and boas festas. And now back to the studio.